Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the Brahma Kumaris Next Normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. We come to you every day, Monday through Friday at 6:30 to 7 p.m. EST, but available 24/7 as well, after each of the live shows have been recorded. We've been doing some premieres because, as you all might know by now, we have acquired a new retreat center in Virginia. So that has been taking up a lot of our time because we're now in renovations, and in another week we'll be moving from here to the retreat center, which is just about 25 minutes from here. So I hope you're still tuning in with the premiere shows. We're still recording it with a lot of love, and we're still putting a lot of energy in it. I know sometimes we do like to have the banter going back and forth with each other on the live segments, and I do too. I've told Santosh many occasions, please, I just want to do the live shows, and I don't care. Yes, of course, thousands can watch it at some point in time, but it's this intimate, special community as well that we have built within the year with one another. You know, first we started off with spiritual vaccine, now we're at the next normal. We had a studio first in the upstairs living room, then we came down to the downstairs living room, and then we created this studio. So I'm not quite sure how the studio will look after April 20th or 21st, but let's just make it be a potluck adventure, shall we? Look, we're reaching out to each and every one of you as we get ready for a whole new expression. We're closing the Meditation Museum in Virginia, and we're transporting the installations to the retreat center. So we will still have the Meditation Museum for the Virginia area in that retreat center as well. So you still have a chance to enjoy the beautiful artwork and stories and installations that was in the Tyson's Virginia Center. The pandemic has forced a lot of us to change in many ways, and life continues to teach us so many lessons. We learn the most, though, from the people that we meet. The way they show up in our lives, and the way we react or the way we respond to them. People are our greatest teachers, and we are really students. And if you have that mentality of being a student in life, then can you imagine how much you're going to learn, rather than to think that you have to always be the teacher, you know, keep telling everybody what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. It reaches a point in time where it's like, okay, that's enough now. I too want to learn. I don't want to keep teaching. When we started America Meditating Radio about 8 years ago, I just wanted to be on the other end of the microphone, just asking questions to all the various experts, just to hear what they know and what they're doing and what's working for them, to amplify my own life. It's purely selfish. And even though I must confess, I carry a great amount of information and insight and wisdom and knowledge, I don't need to keep always trying to prove to people how much I know. That's for me. That's my gift. That's what I've worked on. That's what I'm using to change my feelings. If they're not genuine, if they're not pure, if they're not godly, then I go to knowledge to help me to change that energy in my personality. We are souls, and each of us as souls have come and entered a body to play out a part. The part is our own. Nobody put it there. No one has forced me to play the part that I'm playing. Basically, we're all learning, and we are all using life as the greatest teaching tool that we could possibly find. I'd like to take you to Sister Jenty. She has a really nice personal story on a sort of a life journey that she has also taken. And I think it might be slightly inspirational, because there's nothing easier we have access to learn from stories. That was really a complicated sentence. As you can see, I've had a long day today. It's so easy to learn about ourselves through storytelling. Here's Sister Jenty.
I can't remember that when I was young, there was so much fear around. As a 9-year-old child, my mother would let me run to the corner shop in London, and she'd put a £1 note in my hand and give me a list of things to get, and I'd run, and the shopkeeper would give me a big smile and give me whatever it is was on that list, and then he'd make sure I was holding the change very tightly in my hand so that it didn't drop out, and I'd run back again. I cannot imagine a mother being able to say to a 9-year-old girl anymore, or a boy, doesn't matter, run down to the corner shop and get this for me. That little illustration just gives me an indication of how society has changed. And there is so much fear constantly, continually, in every situation in life. For example, I know that in London again, when I was growing up, I didn't feel that there was any racial barriers. And then there came a moment when there was a massive influx of people of color from Africa. They were coming in because of a political situation in that country, and so it was Asians who came to London, a big number, and people became very afraid. They were afraid of the immigrants, and the immigrants were afraid of them, and it was a general situation that came up. And so there's a lot of fear on both sides, people who perpetrate violence, but also people who are the victims of violence. And that's not a healthy society. If your actions are going to be fear-based, what happened to love? What happened to being able to see my neighbor and loving my neighbor? And so I see that you can't legislate for these things. Most countries do have some sort of anti-discrimination laws in place, but to what extent can you change people's hearts and minds through laws? I don't think you can. But when people begin to understand something, then there's a shift. And I know for myself, having been in situations where there was racial discrimination, I was lucky. I was already on a spiritual path when I was faced with this. And so once I had to face this, I had to ask myself the question, what's going on inside of me? Am I going to react and run, or am I going to leave the country? What am I going to do? And the first thought that came was that, well, I can't expect the other to change. If I wait for others to change, I don't know how long that's going to take. What I can do is come back to the inner being and get in touch with my own inner core values and have respect for myself and have that inner dignity in which no one outside can take that dignity away from me. When I start seeing myself as a spiritual being, then I can identify that whatever it is that's causing the discrimination or the bullying is something that's very external. Color obviously is one thing, gender might be another thing, but in the case of bullying, the other person is seeing me as someone inferior, and so they can oppress me. And the change that happens within the self is that I change my perception of myself. I'm no longer fragile, I'm no longer weak, I'm no longer an employee, but I am an individual filled with all virtues and all treasures, and I come back to that understanding of who I truly am as that inner being.
This is what it's about, no? To come back to truly being that inner light, that inner being, that beautiful spirit. And life sometimes offers us situations and circumstances that don't feel so beautiful at all. They're harsh. I mean, just a little bit over a month ago, we were given such news, to vacate our place that we've been living in for 14 years. And 3 weeks later, we found the retreat place. I think if you use every situation that comes in front of you in a mental state and in a consciousness of grace and faith and love and good wishes and pure feelings, the universe has to help you, and God is definitely going to be with you. I want to just, have us look at the energy of the energy of light, the soul that we really are. And I want you to imagine that once the soul leaves the world of light from God's womb, follow me for a little, that the soul leaves and enters your body and starts to use the 5 senses to express its narrative, its recording as a soul. You ever wonder why we're all so different and yet so much alike? You ever wonder why, even though we know that, people have a way of looking at things differently than, we do, we still get upset with them? You ever wonder why it's so hard to let go? It's the soul, the way the soul has been wired, the way the soul uses the 5 senses and receives the world outside of its eyes, and the way it gives back to the world from inside, behind the eye. Imagine if your soul had the recording and the impression of God's light and God's love inside of it. How do you think your soul would respond? How would you talk to another? What would it be like? I think of that quite regularly, We have this recording of experiences that have been painful because of life's lessons. Whether it was a divorce, a breakup, a health opportunity, a loss. We hold on to those feelings of feeling hurt, betrayed, deceived, weakened, victimized. And those thoughts carry a vibration in our personality. And the vibration from that personality sends a signal to the other person. But that person is also having experiences, and they too are a soul, and they too are carrying their experiences to us. And both of these energies come together, and they either collide, they merge, or they grow. Remember this. They collide, they merge, or they grow. When they collide, it's like they can't see eye to eye. There's a conflict. You don't understand my heart. You don't know what I need. You said this like this. Why are you like this? Oh, they're always like this. That's collision of personalities. That's where 2 souls inhabiting their bodies, they just don't understand fully yet why we're here. Now, I want you all to think about all the times you've had an argument with someone and you remember how stuck you were in the belief system that you were carrying, and how much there was a part of you that wanted so much for the other person to change and to understand where you were coming from. Or you wanted so much for them to receive you, but you never thought about really them too much, right? So that collision happens. But then some of us, when we come together, we merge. And what the merging is that one of us sometimes just take the higher road and we make a compromise, or we just surrender to what's going on and we just let it go. Water under the bridge, can't change them. It's my destiny. It's what it is. And you just merge. You just let it go, like Om Shanti, But somewhere deep down inside, you still feel like you're losing yourself. You're losing out on who you need to be. And there's still a little bit of a need or a push to express yourself. In certain ancient cultures, like the Asian culture, many women are sort of looked upon like you're not supposed to have your own identity. You're definitely not supposed to be independent. In ancient cultures, there's so many traditional rituals and rules that it just makes you confused in the 21st century. Who am I? What am I? Why should I feel insecure if I have to be with you in my marriage and I can't be free and do what I want to do? Doesn't make sense, does it? So sometimes when two energies come together and they have a life lesson that they're learning, one merges, just gives in, while the other one thinks that they're in control and they're in charge. And it's interesting, the other one, the first one that I mentioned, there's a collision. It's like neither of the party wishes to somehow surrender, humble themselves up, or let go, or ask for some other way of communicating. There's just this, just can't get in sync. Now the third one, when life's lessons are teaching you, and there are people that you're meeting, and they might not be exactly what you might have envisioned, but somehow the both of you are open to the growth. Like you know when it's your fault. You know when you had to play the role that you're playing. You know when that whatever is happening to you is happening for you. You will know when everything seems to be a recording, a pre-recording, and really you're not doing anything new. Imagine for a moment if you were told by God your life is a pre-recorded movie. It's pre-scripted. And that you're going to say what you're going to say when you're going to say it. You're going to do what you're going to do when you're going to do it. This is going to happen when it's supposed to happen. We were having a discussion yesterday in how Om Shanti Village, which is the retreat place, how somehow we all keep feeling like we know this place, we've been here before, it's nothing new. And I was realizing really it was already pre-recorded. So actually everybody who comes on board, whoever donates, whoever works towards it, whoever builds it, whoever makes it into this massive service for the Washington metropolitan area, it's recorded to happen. I got the most sweetest call from a brother today who was checking in and saying, Sister Jenna, have you raised the money yet to pay off for the retreat? I says, we're getting there, you know. Okay, I just wanted you to know the financier is still available. So I want you to raise the funding for this retreat first, and then let me know if you need me. Can I tell you how much that touched my heart? Life's lessons are teaching you that human relationships are vital. And the way that we spoke today when he just says, you know, I just believe so much in all the things that you all do. I just have seen how hard and how committed, how much you put in to just being in service. And I said, you know, another lesson I learned today, that even though our whole team might be consistently just moving along, and we're not thinking about what we must get back in return, that one call today taught me that I was doing good, that we're good, that life is good, and that there are people out there who believe so much in your work, they want to donate to it to make it thrive and to be one of the most successful stories in history. Went to the bank today and the lady was asking, do you have a personal account? I was like, no, I don't need one. I live a very simple life. I don't need much. And I thought about that, you know. All these little moments that I'm grabbing today because of our talk today on life's lessons. That, do you need much? You know what I need? God's love, God's wisdom, health for sure. Great people around me, like the best people. And I want to be the best for people. I want to have beautiful, pure, loving energies in my life, and I wish to be beautiful, pure, loving energy in your life. Haven't we all learned that by now? Haven't we? It's just that we forget. And the soul somehow forgets that it has a great opportunity to play a part of being so unlimited in the way that it lives its lives and interact with each other. So that third level, that where souls, when they come together, they grow. They keep growing. And how do you grow? I might say something that isn't appropriate, but if I can realize that and tell you sorry, I'm growing every single time. And my apology isn't flippant. It's serious after I've understood my mistake, which means I don't make the same mistake twice. That's how much I would understand and have learned that scene that made you unhappy and made me unhappy, that I realized I need to apologize, that I let you know I was at a lower frequency and that I shouldn't have made such a choice, that when I say sorry and I apologize, I mean it. So as we're learning in life and moving the story forward, listen, be alert, pay attention. What are your thoughts telling you? What are they signaling to you? Are they signaling you to stay in the algae consciousness where there's fear and anger and frustration and anxiety and disappointment and betrayal and loss, being victimized? Of course, whatever happened to you and me, it shouldn't happen. I agree. But then I'll always have a choice. Life's lessons give me the opportunity to make a decision that can help me to maintain my spiritual power. That's what it's meant to do, actually. So the whole benefit of meditation, the whole benefit of Raj Yoga meditation, know yourself. Who are you? Really? Who are you when you wash the dishes, when you cook food, when you iron the clothes, when you pick up the phone, when you pick up the cell phone, when you go onto another Zoom call? Are you aware of who you are, that you are God's child? Has life not taught you that yet? Or are you going to continue to fight with your brothers and your sisters and your spouses and your aunties and your uncles and your superiors and keep struggling with them, and instead of realizing, hasn't life's lessons told me that if I keep doing the conflict game, or if I merge and lose myself in just giving in to a relationship, or if I choose to grow, then that means I let God in. Look, when both parties grow, you're opened. And you begin to receive God's light, God's wisdom, God's love. And life becomes a beautiful journey of growth. You're like, I got this. I really got this now. I'm here to grow. So life's lessons, it's about empowering you. It's about growing. It's about really tasting the fragrance, the essence of our existence. Is to be so powerful, so pure, so happy. No matter what you have to go through, which is pre-recorded, you got it. You can manage it. Thanks for joining us on The Next Normal. And know that we really appreciate your support and your time, and we love you very much. Send me any topics that you'd like me to touch base on, anything at all, and I'd be happy to give it a jab and see how it will emerge. But please ask yourself tonight, who are you? And go into this connection of being God's child and see how you respond to situations that are unfolding in your life. I'd love to end the show with Om Shanti by Kristen Hoffman. It's going to be the staple song for the Om Shanti Village. We were talking, I have Om Shanti album in February, Om Shanti Village in March, and Kristen did the Om Shanti song. I guess Om Shanti just can't leave us alone here. So enjoy the song and feel the purity and the vibrations that are just flowing through the music and the tone of Kristen Hoffman and the visuals. I'm looking forward to you enjoying our show tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Please be well, take care of yourselves, and know that we really, really, really honor you. You take care. Bye-bye. Start your day off with a smile. The Brahma Kumaris meditation museums are still closed due to the pandemic. And since the lockdown, we have enjoyed meeting you on YouTube and Facebook. The next normal with Sister Jenna has been our way of staying connected. The show offers answers to everyday life challenges, meditations, conversations with guests, and moments of laughter. It is your pause to reconnect, elevate, and understand better your purpose for being here. Monday meditations will take you into deep stillness, away from the noise, with a special feature titled Drishti, seeing into the being. The rest of the days will offer you food for thought, and Positive Fridays will inspire you and leave you wanting more. Thank you all for the support that you have given us over the years, and we wish you and your loved ones health, wealth, and happiness. Remember to subscribe and click the bell button to stay connected. All the very best once again, and we hope to see you soon.